Okay, are we on? Is this thing working? Ooh, how do you even start one of these? What do you say? What do you talk about? Do you like knit on these? Do you think I should, like the intro should be me like knitting? Maybe? Like this is a craft vlog. Knit, knit, knit. Crochet, crochet, crochet. Hi everybody. Welcome to The Stash. My name is Jess. I am the owner and dyer at Skein and the Stitch, and welcome to the first ever episode of The Stash. This is a place for me to share all of my behind the scenes stuff, to talk about collections, to talk about what I'm working on. I'm going to be talking about knitting and crocheting and spinning and candle making and sewing and what else? Stitch markers and all sorts of things, and basically anything crafty is going to be found here that I can chat about, which is why I'm calling this podcast The Stash. And I don't know if this is considered a podcast or a vlog or a video diary, I don't know, but it's just going to be called The Stash. And I feel like that kind of encompasses what I want to share with you, this kind of stuff we're going to be talking about. I kind of didn't want to just limit it to yarn. I wanted to talk about all sorts of stuff in the business and really get you into my stash, which is considerable. So I thought for the first ever episode of The Stash, I should probably introduce you to me. So hello, my name is Jess. I live in West Yorkshire with my husband and my 2 children and a very fluffy old man husky called Milo. But you might be wondering why I don't have a British accent, and that's because I'm from the US. I moved over to the UK around 15 years ago to do graduate school. And about a month after I moved, I met my husband and we've been together ever since. And he is the reason I am still here, which is exciting. I did my master's and my PhD at the University of York, and I was all set to start an academic career. And the pandemic happened and I came out of the pandemic having started a business. So this is now my full-time job and I absolutely love it. And I really wanted to start YouTube a while ago. It's been something I've been kind of thinking about for over a year and really wanting to get into more of my ideas in a long form content. So I thought I'd give you a little introduction to what Skein and Stitch actually does and the types of products that I produce in my business. So at its core, Skein and the Stitch specializes in hand-dyed yarn and fiber, and I do it all myself in my home studio in West Yorkshire. I say home studio, I mean garage. I dye yarn next to my lawnmower, so I don't actually have a purpose-built studio. That's something maybe as I grow that might be a little bit far off, but for now I work out of my home, and I dye yarn and fiber. I dye based on a total bunch of different things: books, TV shows, movies, mythology, nature, emotion, sometimes different things. So really it's a litany of things can go and inspire my colorways and the way that I dye yarn. Another part of my business is I have hand poured soy wax candles. I do some wholesale orders for other dyers for things like advents or special projects, but I also want to pair candles with bigger collections. I love the multi-sensory aspect of them, and it's just a lot of fun, and I get to play around with scent and color and the vibe. It's for the vibes, really. Another thing that I produce as part of my business is I make gemstone stitch markers. So I've done this actually for quite a long time. I source gemstones of all different varieties and I turn them into stitch markers for knitters and crocheters. And it's actually a product that I love to curate. It can be quite expensive for me to source them and to find them, but I just love it. It's like jewelry for your knitting and it's so cute. In addition to yarn and candles and stitch markers, I have tons of notions in my shop. I have, let's see, some other stitch markers, wool wash. I carry soak wool wash. I have needles in my shop. I would like to carry some more. I think that's something I would like to expand on a little bit. I also have some spinning fiber I've added this year to my shop. That's been really, really popular. So I think I want to increase that and focus a lot more on non-superwash yarns in 2025. I've made a commitment to myself that any yarn that I add to the shop this year, and any new bases that I add for pre-orders, will be non-superwash. But I will still be keeping Plush Sock and Plush DK and my Merino 4-ply as like my core superwash bases because they're so popular, and I don't want to drop them, but I also want to introduce you to new non-superwash bases, and I would like to do another podcast episode about superwash versus non-superwash yarns. I want to talk through my bases with you. So this is really just the first video to kind of break the ice, introduce myself, kind of tell you what to expect from this channel, and to really kind of, you know, I think it's more for me to not be so scared of making a video and just kind of get myself out there, and then we can kind of, I have a schedule of videos that I'd like to make. So you can probably expect a video. I'm hoping once a month, maybe twice a month if I really have time to sit and film and edit, but I'm hoping at least once a month to be able to share a video where I talk about, I do a little bit of education, like I'm talking about non-superwash versus superwash yarns, or I'm talking about my bases and kind of what base to use with what project, or I'm talking about a big collection, or I'm showing you behind the scenes of something like me at a yarn show, or we're talking about some of my projects. So I think I have a couple videos queued up where I'm going to be talking about, like, these are my projects, you know, this is my spinning, this is different things. So you get to see the projects I'm working on and hopefully inspire you to try some of it yourself. But if you have any questions or things you'd like to see, leave a comment. I would love to hear what you are wanting to see. I have a whole list of ideas I'd like to explore, and so hit me with your best shot, I think, is the way forward for this. But in 2025, personally, I would love to finish some more of my whips that have been forgotten. I have about 10 whips. I'm gonna do another episode where I shamefully drag you through every single whip that I've got, and you can see what's on my needles and what needs to get off my needles. Either I frog it or I just finish it. Some of them are embarrassingly close to being done. I just lost my craft mojo and they're just languishing in the back of my cabinet, and they just need like a sleeve. So I think that's going to be for another episode. I'll take you through there. My personal goals for 2025. So this year I have a Studio Ghibli monthly club called the Enchanted Yarn Society, and that is yarn and fiber. So I have challenged myself to spin up the variegated and the semi-solid colorways every month and then ply them together. So this is February. This is Spirits of the Forest, inspired by My Neighbor Totoro, and I think this is such a beautiful green, and I'm gonna spin the semi-solid color and ply them together. So I've already done that for January. I will do another episode about all spinning things. I'll show you my e-spinner. I'll show you the types of things I'm spinning on. I'll show you the fiber in my stash. So I've got a lot of fun plans this year for personal goals I want to share on this channel. I've got some more business things to talk about. I'm going to be doing a Yorkshire collection in March. I have Advents coming in April 2025. I'm also going to East Anglia Yarn Festival in March, so I want to take you along with that and kind of show you my booth and talk about what it's like to be a vendor at these events. I've got some exciting things coming up in the summer that I'm going to take you along with me. So 2025, there's so much happening at Skein and the Stitch, and yeah, come along with me. Thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Jess. This is the Stash Podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Cheers. Knit, 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 knit.